It is Wednesday, the 23rd day of July, 2025. Yesterday, unfortunately, marked a sad day for those of us who love heavy metal and whose lives, in some sense, were shaped by that music. The legend, the godfather, the goat, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away at the age of 76. It was a full life, though. Um, Everything I've read over the last day plus now has been, a lot of previous interviews and old quotes of his and things about how he's lived his life. And, if you know, like, the backstory about his childhood and how it was, in some senses, tragic and sad. But I mean, through it all, he worked, became an absolute icon in music, period, a hero to many in the face of the forefathers of heavy metal, Black Sabbath. Heroes never die. You hear that all the time. They just fade, and in this instance, their voice and image will carry on, and that's how it'll go for Ozzy. He'll be deified more than he already was, and his legacy will carry forever. I mean, the guy struggled with a variety of ailments over the last 20 plus years, which really stemmed from him deciding it would be a good idea to go bopping around on an ATV in his early 50s. But one thing Ozzy was not really great at was making proper decisions for his personal well being. But, that's just how it goes. That accident created a number of other struggles and just kind of, mounted over the course of the years. Apparently, his back and his spine were just trash, which kind of you can kind of figure out if you watched him on stage enough and he was hunched, you watched him on TV, he was hunched. Poor guy. And then he was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2019, and over the course of the last 6 years, it's exasperated itself beyond, what is generally considered to be reasonable to live with that fucking awful shit. But through it all, he was adamant about getting to play live music again. He even said in a 2022 interview, quote, "I will get back on stage if it fucking kills me," end quote. I don't think getting on stage for the show a couple weeks ago literally killed him, but I sure as hell don't think it helped, because if you think about it, he probably persevered for months beforehand, getting ready for that show and just like maintaining as much level of health as he could. But it was, and I think I said this a couple weeks ago, and I've said this to friends, and it's just you don't get the opportunity often to say goodbye to your heroes in whatever genre, whether it's like sports, music, art, whatever. You don't typically get that. And if you're the artist, you don't get to say goodbye to your fans and your supporters. But in this instance, he got that, and it's something that doesn't happen often, and that in and of itself is amazing, and it's a gift that he gave to all of us that have been fans of his for years. And if you watch the show, and if you care at all about the man or his music, you absolutely shed a tear during "Mama, I'm Coming Home," because you could tell that he was very much feeling it. That's my guess. So, I mean, even now, just thinking about it and talking about it, it's sad to think about. And the whole thing was very poignant. And you saw so many people in the crowd crying. It's a bit prophetic, right? The other thing too with that event is, I think I mentioned this before, is that it raised an incredible amount of money and ended up being apparently the most charitable concert ever. Like more than Live Aid, more than Farm Aid, more than the 9/11 concert. I don't know if you remember that one. That was something. More than that. And we're talking 140 million pounds, which is about $165 million. Ever. The most ever. That's the metal community that Ozzy helped to build and to nurture and to embrace. Those two Birmingham charities that I'm sure are going to see a further outpouring of support in the coming days. I'm sure they are ultimately grateful, and they both put out really nice statements yesterday or overnight, really. But it's also funny to me that those who aren't in the metal community know who Ozzy is and his family because of the fucking TV show on MTV. Which, look, if you were a fan of his and you watched the show, you loved it, and I loved it. Like it was phenomenal, and you saw like him just being him, John Michael Osbourne. And granted, he was still Ozzy, but he was just human on that show and incredible, like absurdly hilarious. The guy was funny as fuck. And now you're just reading about it even more. It's something that you always knew. Again, if you were a fan, that he was just a funny dude. And they've all been saying, all of his friends saying just, he was just a wonderful guy and hilarious. But a true loss. As I said, though, his legacy will live on in perpetuity. But he will absolutely be missed by literally millions of people. Sad day. So today, I'm talking about precious little as I'm again ill prepared, but there will be sports, there will be politics, there will be snack foods, and there will be blood. All that and more on episode number 194 of Complaints and Observations.
Still, a voyage into the mundane and an exercise in futility. Swimming in the absurd while drowning in unearned self-importance. Entirely unworthy of your time. It is the world's worst podcast. This is Complaints and Observations with Dave LaPointe. Who the hell is Dave LaPointe?
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
Hello, happy Wednesday. How are you? What's going on? Not much here, to be fair. But as I said, entirely ill prepared this week. Like I didn't have normally, I'm thinking of stuff as the week progresses and I'm writing stuff down, and I only had a few things, but I mean there's some decent stuff here. I mean the most content that I had this week were gripes. So I'm really looking forward to 3 gripes. But I want to start by talking about your local 9, your Boston Red Sox baseball club. So, as predicted, and as anybody with a functioning frontal lobe would know, you could see this coming. And as we have entered the second half of the baseball season, the Red Sox have started off by losing 4 of 5 games. The only game that they won was a game that they should have won because it was that was the Garrett Crochet game. He's the best pitcher in the league, I would say. Him and Scooble in Detroit. That's the game that they're supposed to win, and that's the game that they did win. Everything else has been garbage. All of a sudden they can't hit. Funny what happens when you play teams that can pitch. The kid last night looked like a tall Dominican Chris Sale. It was fucking wild. This kid's changeup was nasty as fuck. And he goes out and basically shuts him down. He gave up 3 hits. 1 run, 3 hits. That 1 run was courtesy of the left-handed pitching killer, Rob Refsnyder. But fucking hell, like, let's all pump the brakes here. And then you got Lou Merlone talking about guys that they might have to bring in a pitcher or bring in a hit. Like, dude, they're not fucking trading for anybody. And I just wonder what the team directive is to him and Dave O'Brien. Like, hey, don't be negative. It's probably what it is, which is why Dave O'Brien all he talks about is fucking home runs. It's the most infuriating broadcast ever. And you think back to what, like, 10 years or so ago was, and how amazing Orsillo and Remy were together. And then when you added Eck in there, like, holy fuck. But man, yeah, the Red Sox, like, please. They play the Dodgers I think they got one more with the Phillies, or do they play the Dodgers today? Yep, one more with the Phillies. Then they get tomorrow off, and then a weekend series at home against the Dodgers. They're gonna get fucking trucked. The Dodgers pitching isn't great, so they might put up runs, but the Dodgers lineup, it could be another situation where I think Crochet starts on Friday, maybe Saturday. So they might win again one game, but they're gonna lose the series. And look, if they surprise me and win 2 out of 3, hey, great. That still means you're under 500 for the second half of the year. They're not good, and it's like, oh well, they're still in the wild card hunt. Ooh, they last night going into the game, they were tied for the second wild card with Seattle. Coming into after the All-Star game, they were basically what 8 games over, 9 games over 500. Well, they're back to now they're 5 games over. Again, because they've lost 4 or 5 games. Because they're not. Don't get me wrong. I want this team to be good. I want to like the Red Sox. I want to like what they're doing. I really, really, really do. I really do. Because but at the same time, I'm so jaded now by sports. And again, like, I really need to spend some time and do this, like, sports and money kind of a thing, sports and math. Sports versus math is what I called it, because that's what it's become. It's always been a business. Sports has always been a business. But now it is like 80% business, 20% sport. And, nobody can seem to fucking figure that out. Moving on. Training camp just started, so let's get excited about football. That means summer is over. That means autumn is right around the corner. That means the perfect weather for fat people on the doorstep. Let's fucking go. Same with the start of the Premier League. 3 weeks away. We get to watch West Ham over the course of the next couple of weeks struggle to bring in more talent because their owner is a fucking douchebag dildo salesman. Not anymore. I don't think well, yeah, they were partners, yeah. So I think he's still a dildo salesman. But fucking hell. They've made a couple of, honestly, a couple of surprisingly decent signings. They still need, like, at least, like, I don't know. They need another keeper, a striker. They need help in the midfield, and they need to fucking sell guys. But this is the problem with, like, with football. You cannot just dump guys. Like, you have to keep paying them. So they have at least 3 guys that they need to get rid of. And nobody else wants them. Oh, no shit, really? So, I mean, that's that. That's your sports 6 minutes for now, unless something else comes up. There might, who knows? But eh, as much as it pains me to talk about this again, I have to. This fucking Epstein thing isn't going away, and quite frankly, I like it. But the more I think about it, and the longer this drags out, 1, people are going to forget about it. 2, they're going to find a way to weasel out of it. right? Even if there's more shit constantly coming out, like this letter that the Wall Street Journal got, there's like photos of a wedding with Trump and Marla Maples hanging out with Epstein. Marla Maples. I mean, that's fucking early 90s, mid 90s, right? But that just goes to show you how long and extensive this friendship was. And yet, for some weird reason, nobody wants to fucking talk about it. Though you're starting to smell some balls. You're starting to smell some balls. That's so bad. You're starting to smell some balls from Rafael Cruz down in Texas, who's like, "Oh yeah, we need to put out all the Epstein files need to be released." And again, for the 10 billionth time, I don't care who is on that list. Every single fucking one of those people needs to be punished. Every one. I don't care who they are. Don't care what they've done. Don't care if I liked them at one point. Straight to jail. All of them. And anybody who says otherwise, you're just enabling kid fuckers. That's plain and simple. You voted for that, allegedly. Alleged kid fuckers, I should say. You voted for that because apparently you thought that was cool. Hey, no problem. And unfortunately, I know people who don't seem to be bothered by this at all. And it's fucking frightening. Frightening that you have this conversation. Oh, hey, what do you think about this Epstein thing? Who fucking cares? It's fake news. That's not real. Of course it's not. Because they make you feel he makes you feel good because he fucking hates brown people just like you, right? Is that what it is? Fucking stupid, honestly. Like the entire just the growing lack of morality uh in America. It's just the way it is. It's the way things have become. Rules don't apply to anyone. There's no moral fiber anymore. And look, I'm not even saying you need to be anti this or you need to be anti pedophilia. Like that should be a line that everyone has. That should not even be a discussion. Why would we even argue about that? There is literally zero discussion when it comes to that. If you're not against it, you're part of the problem. Or you're a fucking pedophile. Or you're a fucking pedophile. That's it. It's astonishing to me that this is not an even bigger story than it is. It's also astonishing to me that we're not hearing names up on the other side of the ledger here. We're not hearing about the Clintons. We're not hearing about the Stephen Hawkings, even though I mentioned it last week. But we're not talking about those people on the left. There's no fucking you can't hide from them. And for people that are on the left, not talking about the people that are on the list who are on the left, is what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. It's contradictory, and there's another word for it, and I can't fucking think of it because I'm slow as fuck. You can't do that. You can't. I've ranted too. I did not want to go this long on this because I'm fucking tired of talking about it. But it's my fucking show, so go fuck yourself. But like, I just can't for the life of me figure out how this is not on everyone's mind and on the front of everyone's mind, constantly discussed, that there is even a shred of possibility that the person who is in charge of things in this country could be associated in whatever manner with everything that went on with this guy. Again, if the shoe was on the other foot, we'd never hear the fucking end of it because the right is so much better at television, talking points, propaganda, so much better. That's that. That's all I'm talking about. Fuck. All right, a couple other things that I do want to mention. I do have a couple of voicemails, but um, I need to kind of. There's two things that came up that is somewhat music related. Oh, I fucking totally skipped that. Shit. I'll save that for another time. Um, there was a guy yesterday. I'm standing on the train platform, and all of a sudden I hear Nickelback. I'm like, what the fuck? And loud too. So I'm looking in the parking lot. I'm thinking there's just somebody chilling in a car, Frank in the back, you know. And it's like, wow, this is kind of obnoxious. Well, it's getting louder. Sure enough, this dude comes walking onto the platform, and he's holding his phone, and the phone is cranking Nickelback. I mean, this dude was either going to or coming from work, filthy, of course, like fucking reeked of cigarettes. Did not give a single fuck, but he was ranking Nickelback from his phone as he's walking down the platform, and it reminded me of like, you can't do the old boombox thing anymore because it's not a thing, where people would put the boombox on their shoulder and walk down the street and be jamming out to God knows what. This was the closest thing, at least that I've seen in a while. Now, on the train, it's lawless usually. And you always have people who just, for some weird fucking reason, don't own headphones or ear pods or whatever you want to call them, right? It's like, if you can afford to ride the train, you can afford a pair of shitty headphones. You can. But some people just love to make it everyone else's business what you're listening to, who you're talking to, and it's infuriating. I know it's been a gripe on the show. I know it has. But just thinking about this makes me angry. I couldn't help but laugh. Like, honestly, it was fucking hilarious. This guy. I wish I had that kind of. I shouldn't even say that because I think I have that kind of balls. I think I could do that. But here's the thing: I'm just courteous. I'm not going to. It's tough to like. I want to tell that story, and I told it to my wife last night, and I don't think I explained it well enough. And just like here, I didn't explain it well enough that the visual was so phenomenal. I really wanted to take a picture, but I mean the platform was full, and I couldn't. I didn't. I mean, no excuses really, but I couldn't. But it was just incredible, and I loved every minute of it. Thankfully, he went to the other end of the platform, so he got on the front of the train. I'm on the back of the train, or vice versa. No, he was in the back of the train. I was on the front of the train. You fucking dummy. But speaking of music, another thing happened too. The Steve Miller Band preemptively canceled the rest of their summer tour due to weather that might happen. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck is that? What? Like, why would you do that? And, of course, the immediate reaction is like, oh, that's fucking bullshit, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Now, here's the thing, right? The Steve Miller Band, when I was a kid, was a touring act. They still are. I did not realize it. Steve Miller is fucking 82. Hold on. I want to get the actual age. Okay, he's 81. 81 years old, and the dude is still out touring. And there's quotes from his bass player, 81 years old. And so the more I thought about it, I'm like, wow, yeah, I can kind of understand why Steve Miller would cancel his summer tour, because he's playing all of these, lousy outdoor venues. And it sucks because, like, I literally made a suggestion to a client who was traveling to New England that, they asked about live music. I'm like, oh, guess what? Steve Miller's playing in Guilford, New Hampshire. The night you're going to be in New Hampshire. You should check it out. Not anymore. And I guess there was an issue when he was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago. And it was an outdoor stadium. And I guess it was like in the 90s. And he was miserable. He couldn't function. Like, the guy had gel packs, like frozen gel packs on his neck and shoulders because he almost passed out from the heat. Oh, it's wild. But then people are like, oh, he's not selling any tickets. Like, no one has ever, like, bought tickets to the Steve Miller Band way in advance. No one. Steve Miller for decades has been a last minute show. I want to say I was 19, maybe, when I first saw the Steve Miller Band. And then I've seen them a handful of times since. I mean, it's been probably 20 years or so since I seen him. But that was like every summer. Steve Miller at Great Woods. That was every summer. And now you have a guy who's canceling shows because it's too fucking hot. And he's not wrong. So, look, if you were one of these people that was shitting on Steve Miller for canceling his summer tour, go fuck yourself. And then pay to see him when he's doing some, like, small venue, like, club shows in the fall and winter, because it's much more tolerable for him and his kid senior citizen band. What a world. Like, we're having people that we grew up watching play, they can't play because they're either dead or it's too fucking hot. And there are no bands anymore. Nobody plays music. Musicians now just push buttons. I saw a clip of, like, a pop punk band out of Southern California. They're like younger kids. I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't. But it was fucking great. Honestly, it was great. And you see, like, a band like Turnstile, they're not kids. Like, they're in their early 30s. You really hope that somebody clicks and somebody hits, and then all of a sudden it spawns a bunch of bands. Even if it's shit that I don't like, I just need young people playing music and listening to rock and metal. That's what I need for my soul. Yeah. I spent so much time fucking reading about Ozzy this morning that I'm so late with this. Like, normally I'm done by like 10 o'clock in the morning. Ain't happening today. Like, this might be a late night release. Not that anyone fucking cares, but it is what it is. All right, so I have two voicemails this week. One from old friend Mike. Looking forward to that. And then a return visit from our new friend Lori in Maine. So let's start with Mike, and hopefully he brings us a WNBA update, seeing it, he is the show's WNBA correspondent. Fingers crossed.
So talking about Asians in general made me think back to I have a buddy. He's about my age, a little younger, but he is kind of big in the fishing world. We've done things fishing together. He has like a brand. He's probably one of the best fishermen I know, bass fisherman, from LA, and he is of Chinese descent, and he's just one of these guys who's kind of a larger than life kind of guy, funny guy. And I was visiting in LA, and we go out to, I'm over his place, and we go out to get some food. Driving down the road, and we're all fired up because we hadn't seen each other for a while, and he's driving behind this guy. Guy's going slow. He's like, "Oh, this must be an Asian motherfucker," and I'm like, "Oh boy," and as we're driving by, he looks, and up there he is, and as we speed by, he yells out the window, "Ching chong chang, motherfucker!" My buddy, mind you, who's basically of Chinese descent. So here I am, big white guy, enjoying that. But on the topic of Asian type things, one of the places that I've always wanted to visit on the bucket list is Japan. And you're a big traveler. I know maybe more so domestic, but with the football, actually no, you get around. But I mean, I think Japan is huge into bass fishing, which you might not know. A lot of the cutting edge type of things, techniques and things that we have over here came from Japan. They're much cooler over there. It's almost like I don't know, skateboarders or something. Like they're not podunk like some of our bass guys. Very cutting edge. They have great food. You got ramen. You got hibachi. Some people like sushi. You got baseball over there. So it's almost like a lot of things we love, they love over there. Beautiful scenery, and you can't forget video games. Nintendo, Sony. So anyways, you talking about Asians and things like that kind of gets me into that thought process. I'm not a huge traveler. I don't dream of going places, but that's one of the few places I would go. And you know what? I wouldn't mind if you came along with me. Sayonara, David.
All right, this is now my third attempt to record this bit. I fucking cannot stand. Like, this hosting service is such shit. Like, such fucking shit. Like, I literally talked and, hit record, start talking. Shouldn't be that difficult to record everything that I say. However, the fucking thing just stops when it felt like twice in a row. So glad I'm paying for this crap, right? I just, again, I thoroughly enjoy doing this. I hate the fucking, like, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but like, I hate the fucking, the hassle behind it. It shouldn't be this hard. It used to be so fucking easy. So fucking easy, and then Spotify had to go and change it. Because the hosting company that I originally started with, Anchor, just beautiful. Simple, easy. What other adjectives can I come up with for easy? Like, so simple, a fucking idiot could do it. That's what it was. Nope, now we've got this shit. Now we had Anchor by Spotify. We had now this is like a third party, Riverside, which is probably owned by Spotify, but it fucking stinks. It stinks. I enjoy podcasting. I like talking into microphone. I have ideas for other shit and I want to do it. I can't do it with the current setup. I can't do it with my current equipment. Yeah, cry me a fucking river, David. Anyways, Michael, thank you. Fishing, great. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. I've done it twice already. So, fishing, awesome, great. Uh, I thought that was going to go off the rails after the beginning of the call. I'm like, oh, fuck, what the hell is he talking about? Then he starts talking about how he doesn't want to travel. How on fucking earth do you not, I guess, dream of going places? That blows my fucking mind. Planet Earth is massive. I have a list of like at minimum 15 places that I want to go to. Not to mention like a few more repeat visits. Oh man, that is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. And I'm sorry to hear it. I really am. I mean, look, I'm in the travel game. I talk to people all the time, and when I always ask why they want to make a trip, the worst answer is, "Oh, it's on a bucket list." That doesn't fucking help. That just means you want to go, but why? Give me a reason. Oh, man, burns my ass. And it's been that kind of morning, so here we go, right? Anyways, Mike, you really should daydream about travel. Travel is so good for you, exposing you to other cultures. Japan? Abso-fucking-lutely, dude. Japan is on my list. If you want to go, let's fucking go. You'd be fishing by yourself, and I would be bopping around on trains and fucking checking out temples, drinking scotch. That's my jam. The only fish I want to see are, koi ponds and fucking random temples. That's it. My wife will not go to Japan. It's too far. Oh fuck! I got that thing too. God damn it. Um, but hey, there's ways to make it happen. Japan's not cheap. That's the problem with Japan. It's not cheap. Plus, it's a long flight. But I mean, once you've made one long flight, the long flights become infinitely easier. So, at least that's what I think. And my guess is as you get older, they'll become harder. But for now, I'm still spry. I'm still a young buck. Solidly middle-aged, motherfuckers.
Hi, Dave. This is Lori again from Maine. And yes, I am in fact from Maine. My 207 area code gave it away. Though I do have to say that people who were born in Maine are very possessive over the idea of someone being from Maine when you weren't actually born here. I moved to Maine from Vermont when I was 5, and I still have people who tell me I'm not actually from Maine, despite the fact that I've lived 39 years in the state. But that's number one. Number two, I actually never said I didn't like your content. Google's transcription just really sucks and made it seem as though I did. But if you listen back really carefully, I actually never said that. So just wanted to clarify that. Your statement regarding the use of the word feral by those who are typically surrounded by feral beings is alarmingly accurate. But the reality is that the spicy kind of like feral humans are my favorite kind of humans, hence why my career literally revolves around them and teaching them ways to maybe be less feral and spicy while out in the real world. And then Subaru's last piece about this. I don't think that the Subaru crowd considers their vehicles to be an extension of their personality. What I found is that Subaru owners typically are all about like reliability and practicality, and I just don't see some stupid gimmick about plastic cows really taking off. Though I will say that last Friday I actually found another stupid little plastic cow hidden in my car, and I'm just waiting to find more. I think this saleswoman was really trying to get me into it, but I wouldn't let that deter you from getting a Subaru, especially an Outback. My grandparents drove Outbacks for years before they were cool, and only stopped because they could make at like 88 because they couldn't quite get down low enough. And then they got a different kind of car. But anyway, again, I didn't say I didn't like your content. And on the contrary, I actually think it's quite good. So that's all. I hope you had a great week. Bye.
To say that I am relieved would be an absolute understatement. I am very relieved. And also thankful that you don't actually hate my content. Surprised, but relieved. So thank you. And please allow me to extend my apologies for assuming as much. Now, uh, as I expected, a lot to unpack there. I shouldn't say I had no idea that maniacs were that possessive of being from Maine, as opposed to those who moved into Maine. And it makes me wonder. I wonder if is that more of like a recent thing? Because a lot of people have moved to Maine. From what I understand, the population has grown more over the course of the last 10 years than it did the prior, like 3 or 4 decades. And it could just be the fact that Maine is a touch cheaper than Massachusetts. And so a lot of people from this area are moving up to Maine. I know a lot of people that have moved to Maine and people that have loved it. And I can't say I blame them. I wish I was one of them. I won't deny that. But yeah. So I didn't know that. That's interesting. She also mentioned Spicy Feral Humans. Great band name. That's a shitty punk band if I've ever heard it. Spicy Feral Humans. I'm going to assume that Lori is a teacher of some kind, just based on the fact that, she said teaching them to be less feral. Godspeed, ma'am. And I think I might be on the Subaru uh, train here. I am, as I mentioned last week, I'm in the early stages of vehicle research. I'm leaning towards the Outback. I really am. And one of our, or some friends of ours were here over the weekend, and they have a newer Outback. It's actually pretty new. At least it looks very new. What I can't get past is like, there's no fucking way that I'm buying a new car. There's just no way. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I have gone, again, as I mentioned last week, I've gone a decade without a car payment, and to think that I'm going to put myself in that position again is, it's infuriating. And it's not because I didn't take care of my current vehicle. My poor car. She's just, you know, she's like an old dog at this point. You are thankful and appreciative that she's there, but you know that at some point you're gonna have to move on, right? Um, I'm about to hit 125,000 miles, which in the grand scheme of things, for a 15-year-old car, it's pretty good. But I mean, this thing, I've been hit 4 times. Yeah, I've been hit 4 times. And actually, it might be five. It might be 5 times, and the last one didn't count because I didn't port it. But I mean, the poor thing has been beat up, rebuilt, and it's just not in a good place. If I had my druthers, I would have her and we'd be together forever. But there comes a time in every man's life where they just need to move on, where the writing is on the wall. So I appreciate like any sort of thing or info on Subarus. I'm in. In fact, I read an article the other day from on jalopnik.com. If you're not familiar with Jalopnik, it once upon a time was in the uh, what is the name of the fucking company? Well, the company that was owned by um, Peter Thiel, whatever. Oh, I can't remember what Gawker? Gawker me? No. No, not Peter Thiel. AJ something. Oh, whatever. This story sucks. Whatever. It used to be in that family, and it's just all about cars. And so the title of this is Moo Moo Subaru explained, like Jeep ducks, but weirder. So I only got through like a couple of paragraphs, and it's just fucking. Yeah. Again, same deal. And I said that if I owned a Jeep and somebody put a duck in or on my Jeep, I would lose my shit. But yeah, so. And of course, your grandparents drove Outbacks in Vermont. I'm fairly certain that they hand those out, that you're entitled to an Outback when you get your license in Vermont. Anyways, Lori, please keep calling 617-804-1557. Please tell your friends to call in, and tell your friend that told you to call in to call in. I still don't know who the fuck they are. I don't know who turned you on to this garbage, and for that I also apologize. But please keep calling. It's nice to have other voices. As much as I adore Michael, it's nice to have other voices call in. Like last week we had Mark, or the week before Mark called in. Shout out Mark. He listens to every show. He's a P1. But yeah, tune in and complain. 617-804-1557. It is time for everyone's favorite part of the program. It is the end. Listen, this has been a fucking 12-hour odyssey today. This is not how I should be doing this. Cramming a work day between the beginning and end of recording this garbage. That should be a gripe. Gripe number one, not being prepared. If I'm going to continue to have a podcast, I really should put some time and energy into it. But then that would kind of defeat the entire purpose of having a podcast, would it not? Like, I'm not trying to make money or turn a profit here, but, my other ideas, maybe, but definitely not. All right. So, I like these gripes. I'm happy with these. So, I'm looking forward to sharing. Also, as it is currently 8 p.m., the Red Sox are already losing. So, I'm sure you're all very thrilled. Gripe number one, the term your guys's or you guys's or something, anything with a guys apostrophe S, guys's. There is nothing. I don't want to say that I'm like a grammar police or a grammar Nazi or something, but I don't know. There are some things that just rub me the wrong way, and this definitely does. Like if you're talking to a group of people and you use the term your guys's, you sound fucking stupid, right? Allegedly, this is not technically improper grammar, but just slang. And it's like, fuck that. It sounds so stupid and makes smart people sound fucking stupid. And admittedly, I think less of people who use that term or use there's a word for it. And again, I'm not an English major, so I'm not going to say like kind of what is on my mind in terms of what this is supposed to be. But so here's the thing. I know I'm going to sound stupid if I get this wrong, where you're making guys a possessive. I think that's right. It might not be. And admittedly, I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I just fucking hate it. You don't need to say that. You don't need to add apostrophe S to the word guys. I don't want to hate it, but I do. And every time I do, I just fucking. It's like in a corporate setting when someone uses that term, it says you guys talking about a team of people. What am I supposed to do with that? To me, it says that you don't care how you sound. And while I very much do not care how I sound, I care how I sound. Does that make sense to anyone but me? Probably not. Well, fuck you. Gripe number two. parents who give their kids porn star names. Now, if you're if you're a teacher, if you're in education, you have, gaggles of kids, there's no fucking way that you've never looked at a name and been like, what the fuck is that? Not that you're confused by the name, but you know where that kid's going to end up based on that name. And I've used this before because down south, parents will name their kids in such a fashion that it's a guarantee they're going to be a fucking college quarterback. That's just how it is. There's so many of them. Please don't ask for example. Oh, here's one, Colt McCoy. The name Colt McCoy, like that kid was destined to be a college football quarterback from the second he fucking emerged from the womb. Colt McCoy. But like, if any parent that names their kid Summer or Alexis or Logan or David, you know exactly what you're getting in the end, right? Especially if there's alliteration there. That makes it even worse. And there's no way that a friend or relative doesn't say something to an expectant mother or father who shares the name they're thinking of, and they're like, the last name is going to be Skies. Maybe rethink going with Summer Skies. And honestly, I wish I could remember the actual name that spawned this gripe. It was at work. Like, I was working with a family, and they gave me the name, and I'm like, holy fuck. I think it was like Sterling. I think the first name, and it was a female. Her name was Sterling. And the last name started with, oh, I know what it is. I'm not going to say it. Just trust me when I tell you, this was a 1000% porn star name. In fact, they had two girls. And the other name was only slightly better. But the last name, the alliteration, is what fucking took it over the edge. I mean, I had to share it with my colleagues. I'm like, look at these fucking names. What does that look like to you? Boom, porn star. And here's the other thing too, right? Porn stars. Anybody can be a porn star. Ooh, wow. That just fucking dawned on me. Literally anybody can be a porn star now. Just fire up OnlyFans, or you just get onto Pornhub or whatever that one's called. Listen to me, whatever that one's called, as if I don't know. Pornhub. You just fucking make porn. Boom, porn star, instant porn star. Your name could be Jim. Jim Jello. Jim Jello, porn star. It's a fat guy with a mustache. Jim Jello. I'm glad I remembered what the name was, and I'm glad I didn't fucking just yell it out loud because that's not cool. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But yeah, two things there. Anyone could be a porn star, and two, don't give your kids porn star names. I'm not a parent. I don't know how this works. What I do know is that names are a big fucking deal. Big deal. So don't fuck it up. And I had like it's funny because I was thinking about like parenting and kids the other day, and it got me thinking like I would love to get 20 parents in a room, but interview all of them separately. And I would need their kids to be at relatively the same age, and I want to ask them and say, what do you think your kid is going to be when him or her or it grows up? And I would love to know those answers. And the only reason I thought of it is because I remember my father when I was younger. He always kept saying, you should get into computers. Computers. The way he said computer was always funny. Computers. And I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to get into computers. What the fuck are you talking about?" And sure enough, I probably should have gone into computers. I'd be in a much better position. I've gone on a tangent. And you want to know why? Because the fucking workday's over. Right, number 3, restaurants that somehow think the vast majority of their patrons actually want to hear the solo guitar guy playing music over their dinner. I need someone who owns a restaurant to explain to me how this is beneficial. Like, are they really going after the like 6 to 8 people who know the guy? And they, in their couple $100 that they're going to spend, is that what they're going after? And here's the tricky part of this, right? Because in some parts of the country, the standalone acoustic guitar guy could end up being something big. But what I can tell you with near certainty, anybody around here in the greater Boston, New England area, the odds of anyone playing a guitar in a restaurant on a Friday or Saturday night, the odds of them becoming anything substantial in the world of music is minuscule. Absolutely minuscule. And that's no knock on them. But what I don't want to have to like yell because fucking the jack off is singing a Neil Diamond song. I don't want to have to fucking yell to have a conversation. Like, I don't fucking want it. Maybe that should be a selling point for restaurants, right? Where it's quiet. It's quiet enough that you can talk to your friends. Like, you don't need to have 85 TVs on, and you don't need, like, the fucking game broadcast, like, at a, fucking absurd decibel levels. For the same reason, you don't need, live music. Unless it's a full band, or unless it's somebody who's of local renown. I don't know. I just honestly don't get it. You have a better chance of getting people to spend more money if it's quiet enough for people to talk than you do if you fucking have like Timu Luke Combs butcher a Johnny Cash song. Maybe that's another thing I should find. Like restaurants that are quiet, quiet enough to have a conversation during dinner. All right, that's it. That's it for the show. It took way too fucking long to record this. Like literally, way too long. This was in 3 segments today. Like I came out and I wanted to start at like 8 o'clock. No, I took 2 hours reading fucking Ozzy tributes before I finally got started. Like, what are you doing, David? Like then I did like a little bit during lunch, but the recording got all fucked up. Now here I am after an admittedly shit day of sales. Okay, garbage, garbage. Last month was okay. Start of this month was okay. The end of this month, kablowy, garbage. I don't know. I have to get out of sales. Anyways, listen. As I mentioned earlier, please call the show. Leave a voicemail. Tell your friends that they can call and they can leave a voicemail. 617 617-804-1557. I forgot the fucking number. Red Sox are currently down 5-0. 5-0. Who started this fucking shit show? Let's see. Who started this? Who started the game? Giolito! 4 innings, 5 earned. And it's still bottom 4. Nope. He got out of the inning. So he's gone through 4 innings. Hey, congrats. Good on you. Did he give up 2 bombs today? Oh, 3. Nope, sorry, 4. He's given up 4 home runs. Oh, I fucking hate baseball. Yeah, but listen, I'm on Facebook at Complaints Pod, but fuck Facebook. I'm on Instagram at Complaints Pod. That one's only slightly better. I'm on Twitter at Complaints Pod, but I'm rarely there. I'm on some other stuff. You can find the show on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, bunch of places. None of it really very good. So, look, as always, I ask again to tell your friends, Tell your moms too, maybe your mom wants to complain. 617-804-1557. I would love to hear from some more moms or any moms. I think thus far I've heard one from one mom, and that was years ago. AP Dave's mom called in once. It was the only mom. My apologies, Lori. I don't know if you have children. So if you are a mom, that's two. We're moving up. But tell your friends, honestly. And then take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Godspeed. Ta-ta.